We are WNST, AM 1570, Towson, Baltimore. We are Baltimore positive. We are positively into the bye week, which it's my birthday week this week. So it's also my birthday week. It's my bye week. It's John Wooden's birthday. I'm going to be reminded it was Charlie Kirk's birthday, I'm sure, before the segment was over. It's 1 in 5 week around here, but I'm preferring to think about it as the pumpkin spice season. I'm preferring to think about it as the onset of eggnog season. It's right around the corner. I think I can get apple cider donuts of high quality and probably some apple cider hooch, from what I understand, over at Weber Cider Farm. And I've been bucket listing for crying out loud. This football team sucks. I have postponed a crab cake tour at Costas and Timonium that I'm going to invite Leonard Raskin and everybody else out to, and he's doing his thing with Costas and Timonium. I have Raven scratch-offs that I haven't given enough away of. I'm going to. I promise you. I'm going to be at Coco's in 2 weeks. I'm going to be at Pizza John's because I'm in the mood. And because we lost Craig Heist, and I want to honor him in Essex by eating his favorite pizza, and I'm going to drag Luke and anybody else that knew Craig. I just came up with a tribute I'm going to do for him, and I need to do something for Ed Lauer. So I'm toweling off, Leonard. And before we start, okay, you have not read my Dear John Harbaugh letter yet. I hope you
Not
do.
yet.
We'll do a piece on the back end of that about accountability. You're one of my consiglieres when it comes to knowing that I communicated with King Harbaugh 2 weeks ago in various ways, but today I inked the letter, and I hope everyone reads it. I just want to say this to you, and this is behalf of you handling my wife's money, my money, us trying to figure out if I die tomorrow, what happens to my kid, and like all this stuff. I've been doing the bucket list thing. And you and I have been talking about it, and I lost Craig Heist over the weekend. I was in Las Vegas in the morning, and I'm teared up, and my wife's teared up, and we're a mess in a hotel room. I had taken a picture for him the night before. I mean, he was at the top of my timeline because Dave Preston saw him at the Caps game, and I'm going to let you talk Caps too. So losing friends, one of my dearest friends, Ed Lauer's had a massive heart attack, and you mentioned, we're doing GoFundMe for him and all of those things that musicians in Fells Point who lead a life of being a musician in Fells Point that is beloved, is now struggling, right? And this American dream thing that you put forth as Raskin Global, that when someone tragically dies, when my wife is diagnosed with leukemia the first time, the second time, and she's sitting in this top of the sphere, singing every Eagles song so much that she annoyed the guy next to me. It was body checking me for doing what I tell people not to do, but she was having so much fun. Put me on a highway, show me a sign, take it to the limit one more time.
There you go.
And so
you can't sing. What can you do?
We did the Albuquerque Balloon Fiesta.
There you go.
Do you know about this?
I do. And they also have.
Go. Listen to me. You have wealth, means, friends, travel points, Marriott miles, a wife who likes to. No. You would not. I ain't going. No. Dude, that basket's as big as smaller than my desk.
I hear you.
And once I go up, I say, how do you get down? They're like,
it just happens.
The Uber driver told me they just land where they land, and whoever owns the balloon has to pay the landowner.
Right. Yep. It's wild.
For trespassing sometimes. You can land in a prison. You can land in a lake.
I've never had the inkling to go in a balloon. I know a lot of people who that's part of their bucket list. It ain't mine.
I'm telling you, dude.
I love looking at it.
I'm not going up in it. I'm not going up in it.
Neither.
I am telling you, gather Matthew, gather Kath, put it on your list. And here's the issue. It's my birthday this week. It's also Columbus Day.
It's my birthday on Sunday.
Right. So it's our birthday week. Yep. Jim Palmer, I love you. Stacy Keebler, giving a shout out to all of my, late Harry Anderson and the late Dwight Eisenhower all shared my birthday. John Wooden. I'm doing a lot of Woodenisms. I wrote that Dear John Harbaugh letter. I got some Woodenisms in there for him on behalf of our birthday. So about character, integrity, accountability, sort of basic, the pillars of tenets of what you should look for in any client-friend relationship, certainly your financial fiduciary at Raskin Global. So I would just say this Albuquerque thing, before we even get started, this was on my original. I have somewhere back here, I have my Tony Robbins book from 1994 when
Right.
I did my
Right.
original bucket list at a fire walk at the Hyatt in Washington, D.C., the Grand Hyatt. And I wrote my bucket list. And the Albuquerque thing, it just hit. I saw it in some Southwest Airlines magazine. I saw it somewhere
Beautiful.
on
It's
television.
beautiful.
And I wrote it down in 1994. It's on every list. I have, yeah, I'm a strategist. You know this about me. It's the only way I can
Yeah.
make a little
Yeah.
AM radio station work and have Baltimore positive and piss people off the way I do. Um, I wrote it down and it never happened. And I thought it might never happen. And you know why it didn't happen for years? This goes back to Chad Steele, which you always like when it comes to that. I never traveled in October outside of football,
Right.
right?
You're
So
doing
I
football
really needed a West Coast game or something
to
that made
fit.
sense for me to go to Albuquerque, to get to Dallas, to get to Denver, to go somewhere else to put it in. And it's my birthday week to begin with. My mother was alive. I was always kind of around for that.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I never did it because you have to go to
Didn't fit.
Albuquerque.
Right.
It didn't involve a girl, beer, anything sexy about Albuquerque. And it's my birthday week in October. I mean, I turned down one of my best friend's weddings in the world in Julio Bermejo in Mexico to watch Steve Smith catch a pass for the Carolina Panthers and beat the Ravens because it's the Chico and the Man. It's my job
Yeah. There you
to
go.
talk about
There you
sports.
go.
So the bucket list thing, I just want to say thank you for that because and I guess this is my long-winded way of saying if your wife wants to go to the Sphere, take her. If you think your wife will like the balloons, and even though she didn't really know, like I took my wife to the Hollywood Bowl. I've done like 3 or 4 things with my wife in the last 5 weeks to made her like me more.
Yeah. There you go. Well, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
And then the Ravens play.
And then the Ravens play, and nobody likes anybody.
Go to
Except,
Leonard, Leonard. That's the only. Other than that, we'll get to the Ravens. But I just want to say,
I have not seen it in Albuquerque, but I have seen it in Phoenix, in Scottsdale.
How many balloons went up?
Oh, hundreds. They have a similar thing. It's crazy, and then you just watch, and then they disappear. And my question is, where do they go? Like
Heaven. I said to Jen,
right,
they go to heaven.
Right. Well, I've seen too many YouTube videos with those things coming down wrong, and
no,
bam,
I haven't seen any of that.
Oh, I've watched them.
Yeah, damn it! You said it out loud. It's going to show up on my algorithm, and I'm screwed.
It's just crazy. I mean, I don't trust those. I mean, look,
I'm
I was
not
talking
going
to a
up
friend.
in it, dude.
Hey,
I'm not.
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I was talking to a friend who's a pilot. I said, dude, do you feel all that turbulence we feel back there? He said, of course, but it's just a thing. It's just air. We know it's just air. It doesn't matter. And I said to him, I find myself to be a fairly intelligent human being. Here's something I just don't understand in the world at all. That is the concept of lift. If the Wright brothers hadn't figured this out, nobody would. If it was up to me, no one would fly. I can't understand how that big metal tube hangs out up there 35,000 feet. I can't jump 3 inches off the ground for 5 seconds.
I thought about that on the way back from Vegas when the plane was shaking all over the place.
Right. I just don't know. I don't get it, but it works. And the balloon, to me, no, it's just not. It's not. You blow this hot, burning gas up into the balloon. It rises. I get that. How do you come down? I guess you turn the burning hot air off and you drop like a rock. I'm not interested in dropping like a rock. I don't know.
Well, so few things in life,
good planes. That's not on my bucket list.
Live up to the expectation of being on a bucket list for 30 years. So you actually do it, and you're sitting there at 5:30 in the morning, and my wife elbows me. She's like, "This was a really good idea," and I'm like, "Yeah,
this is beautiful.
This is the greatest thing I've ever done." So anyway, and then I came home to football. Up in it. Yeah, I came on to football. You've watched a lot of baseball. You've watched a lot of hockey. Just where are you? Give me the Leonard Raskin show on behalf of Raskin Global because I just lived your American dream. And I got nothing left on my bucket list other than Royal Albert Hall, and I'm too much of a cheapskate to deal with London right now.
Well, there you go. So my week was a conference in Boston, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Fly from Boston to Orlando for another conference all about financing the American dream and living your American dream, fulfilling on your financial future. Fantastic conference. Dennis Quaid was keynote speaker. Art Laffer, fine, brilliant economist. Some brain scientists talking about how our brains are wired and why we do weird and strange and crazy things. Some really funny, good stuff. And just a really good meeting.
We all need a TED Talk. TED Talks inspire all of us, right?
The wife and son came out and did came down and did 3 days at Disney. We spent Saturday at Hollywood Studios checking out the Rise of the Resistance and Mickey and Minnie on a runaway train. It was kind of cute. And ate some good food, saw some old friends, hung out with a friend who works for Disney. Hadn't seen him in probably, I don't know, 10, 12 years, maybe longer. So got a chance to break some bread with a friend. That was beautiful. And watch a little baseball. Did watch a little baseball playoffs. Wow, some good games in the playoffs. Of 15, I think it was 15 innings, 13 innings. Long game, Seattle winning.
My wife really and I were in Vegas wandering around, and we found ourselves, glued to the Phillies and the Dodgers.
Yeah.
And everybody on our airplane was glued to it. And I felt the presence of
playoff
sports.
Baseball. And then, of course, my gig, the NHL, opened up. Caps 2 on the road, beat both of the New York teams on the road. That was a nice start. Lost the opener at home, but coming back, Ovechkin's a hat trick away.
You told me Ovechkin was going to come back, and
he's a hat trick away from 900 goals, which is just silly. I think it's his last year of his contract. I'd be really surprised if he plays another year. I think this will be the end. He'll say that's enough. But I guess it depends on the year. If he has 20 goals or if he has 44 again, who knows? But
you think Putin will make him play a year over there?
Oh, he's going to play in Russia when he goes back. Sure, he's king of the country. Why the hell not? He's king of the country. Next year, I think this year they stop mid-season, February, I think it is, for the Olympics. No doubt he'll be playing for the Russian team in the Olympics. I'd be shocked if he doesn't. So the whole league's shutting down for the Olympics for the break. They're letting the players play for their countries. So that'll be cool to watch. And we flew home early Sunday morning because we had full intention of going to watch the Ravens and the Rams, which could have been a good football game if we hadn't turned the ball over 3 times and committed many lousy, stupid penalties that killed drives right in the middle of success. We ripped defeat from the jaws of victory and once more lost a game that this was a game, oddly enough, that they could have won, even as beat up and battered as they are. But
some would say if they started Tyler Huntley, or there's all
could have been too.
But the thing down on the goal line,
give the ball away.
I mean, doing tush pushes at the goal line too.
It's a terrible play call. It's a terrible play call. One team in the league can do it because they practice it nonstop. Great, good for them. It's an ugly play, and we stink at it. So why even try it? You got Derrick Henry who's bullying them and killing them, and the line's killing them, and you decide we'll give it to him on 3rd down maybe, or 4th down. We'll give it to him on 4th down. Just pathetic. I mean, 1st and goal from the 1, and you lose 2 yards. That's just Bush League. That's bad. I don't know who's calling the plays, but
it's Monken calling the plays.
If that was Monken calling those plays, 4 plays that he called, that's terrible selection. I don't care who the quarterback is, who the running back is. You got 3 running backs. You got Hill, you got Henry, and you got
Keaton Mitchell.
Yeah, Mitchell. And if the 3 of them can't get a yard, then none of them should be playing in the NFL. I mean, you push up the middle.
Well, the offensive line is an issue. Stanley went out of the game again, and that should be the biggest red flag about all of this. Even though we're and I said to Luke, are you convinced Lamar's going to play because they've
after the bye?
Okay, that's what they say, but it's a hamster. They're convinced. They've convinced the fan base that he's going to play. They need him to play. He's going to be a savior.
It's over.
Roquan's coming slower, from what I understand, but was out running around. Not to mention the guys they've lost. I mean, the pass rush is such a problem in a general sense, and now they've traded their best pass rusher. They've lost the other pass rusher.
Yep.
Kyle Van Noy, who's usually a stand-up guy, and they don't have many of them around there, ran out the back door on Sunday. No, they're 1-5. Guys are dropping balls in the game and they're in TV commercials and they don't appear after the game. There is no accountability. Harbaugh's talking about 1-5 being an incredible opportunity to do what only 3 teams have ever.
What else are you going to say?
I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, what are you going to say? You're going to say we stink? Our play calling stinks. My coaching staff stinks. I've had enough of this. I quit.
Well, he says he's not firing any. I mean, listen, from fire John Harbaugh and Eric DeCosta down through Zach Orr and Chuck Pagano and Todd Monken and whatever else. I don't think because of this organization.
They don't have a firing culture.
They don't do it this way.
They
Yeah,
don't have a firing culture.
Like my lead story is, I'm not firing you, John, and no one and no one's saying is, and neither is your owner. So let's get on to how do we fix it.
How about Penn State?
Oh, that was
Penn
the lead
State.
too, right?
Boom. Goodbye.
Well,
James
reason
Franklin.
number one that Steve would never fire John, A, he's like a son, and I hope you do read my Dear John Harbaugh letter because I'm reading
And
you the first
B,
paragraph right now.
he'd have to answer for it.
$60 million. And, well, that's the excerpt. Is then Steve would have to sit and have a press conference and say,
have to tell everybody why.
I'm hiring Jason Garrett off Sunday Night Football because I loved him 20 years ago.
Oh, that would be, how bad would that be?
Well, he was the first, he was supposed to be his job, right?
I get it, but we didn't get it.
That's just my little reminder that I know a lot about football. It was 18 years ago. I remember it like it was yesterday. I can even tell you Jason Garrett's wife's name because it was all over the internet because she was looking at houses.
She was looking because they had the job, but something happened on the way to the dance.
Jerry.
Yeah, came in and said no.
Kind of like when the Saudis came in for the comedians. Nah, how much?
What? Go ahead.
And then it's right after that. Once you take the money, you got to justify it, right? So yeah.
Right. Well, you got to get paid.
Got to get paid.
Whenever my experience,
I'm just saying, you fire John Harbaugh is laughable. That he would throw John Harbaugh over the edge of the bus and tell Chuck Pagano he's the coach or something. It's not. None of that's happening.
I don't think that's going to happen. I would be shocked. Let's put it that way. I would be shocked. We could see it, but what have we had? 3 coaches? We've had 3 coaches.
John Harbaugh is the safe. He's untouchable, as I wrote in my letter.
To go.
Which is part of the problem, as I wrote. That's the aorta of the problem, is that they're all untouchable. They're all untouchable.
Right. So it would have to be a shocker to cut him out, and then you look around and you say, who could we get? Some young, up and coming, brilliant football mind to run the team. I don't know. Maybe.
Well, they thought it was Zach Orr. Now he's the village idiot this week because he has no pass rush, no linebackers, secondary that can't cover, and it's his scheme against 5 of the 8 best quarterbacks in the world that they've had to go play, and they're 1-5 because of that. Now, they're going to get all these neophyte young quarterbacks. They're going to
take them all out.
But by the way, Tom Brady, if you're a guy that tapes the game and watches it later, Tom Brady was phenomenal on TV, and Rex Ryan was phenomenal in the pregame as well. And I can do a lot of complaining about the pregame and who's awful because most of it's awful. But I sat on the couch and watched it all day, and Tom Brady, who I was not looking forward to spending the afternoon with, my wife came in. My wife doesn't like Tom Brady, even though she has a Tom Brady jersey. She came in. She's like, "Oh God, we got to listen to him." And
he knows football. He knows football.
Leonard, he's freaking brilliant. He's as brilliant as you think Tom Brady would be. And
absolutely.
I'm writing down all of the gems that he had, and I presented them to John Harbaugh because I know he wasn't watching the broadcast.
How about the best line of the day was, not bad for a PE major.
Right. I like that.
That was fantastic.
So for me, with a guy like Tom Brady watching a guy like Cooper Rush who can't do it, or watching a guy like Lamar who does things he can't do, that he marvels at, that Tom Brady calling the game, and I want to lay this on you because you were at the game, and for anybody in my audience who was at the game who left early, who didn't see Tom Brady early in the game went on about Matt Stafford. And before the game, Teddy Bruschi was sitting with Rex Ryan, who shat upon the entire Raven operation, and why the hell aren't you running the ball? It reminded me when I did the TV show with his father, or when I did the radio show with him. So Teddy Bruschi, he stopped and he paused. He's like, I think so much of Matt Stafford that I can't begin to tell you what I think of Matt Stafford. That's he went on like that in the pregame show. So, and I know I've met Matt Stafford. He played for Jim Schwartz. I know about his wife and her illness and his strength and his wherewithal to go to so here. Then they get out looking like it's 10 in the morning and they don't want to be out of bed, right, in the beginning of the game. But Brady says this, when Stafford's coming up to the line. Here's Brady's mind. He's like, now, right now, I'm going to do my Tom Brady. I eat avocado ice cream. Now, right now, Matt's up at the line of scrimmage, and he's looking to put the offense into a premium play. He's looking to see if the safety's beating down right now and whether they're in 2 deep or 3. And he's going to get them right now in the best play possible. So Brady's saying all that as the clock's at 16, 15, 14. And by the time it gets to 6, he's motioned to back up. He's got a tight end exactly where he wants him. He's in a premium play. He snaps the ball. Boom, first down. And there's Tom Brady basically teaching you football, saying he has the ability to put you in a premium play, which is how I kicked everybody's ass, including Rex and everybody else, that I would confuse them when they were trying to confuse me.
Right.
And I was smarter than them and had better players, and I identified not 11 mismatches, 1 mismatch.
You only need to find one.
The place I need to go when it's hot. Read your hots. That's your tight end. Who's your hot receiver? Who's hot? Who's getting one-on-one? Who's getting man? Who can win a battle? DeAndre Hopkins. Who can I throw the ball up that's going to get it? Mark Andrews in his prime, right? Dennis Pitta, Todd Heat. Go through all the Joe Flacco little, right? So I put it to you that premium plays and getting into premium plays, that's really, really tough to beat when you have – Leonard, I've never watched football like this for 6 weeks and seen – less of a pass rush. And I go back to the sack pack in 75.
Hey, you want to hear another off subject funny story? TJ Oshie of Caps lore.
Osh baby.
Yeah, Osh babe. That's right. Mr. Olympic shootout destroyer. Anyway,
he's also wickedly handsome and
super funny
and very polite. And I'm sorry I didn't spend more time in the locker room with him.
Great guy.
But I've been in his locker. Yes.
So he's now doing commentary at ESPN on the Steve Levy, Mark Messier, TJ Oshie. So opening night.
I love hockey. Can I tell you I love hockey?
Opening night, they had a triple header. And I was out to dinner. I got back to the hotel. I flipped on the second game, bunch of people in the bar, and then I went up to the room, watched the third game. And I think it was first intermission of the third game that he comes on, and Steve Levy says, Tell everybody what you just said during the last of that period. And he said, I got to tell you guys, in my entire life, I have never watched so much hockey in one day in my entire life, because he's always been playing for years. He said, I've never watched hockey, because opening night, every team played. And they got monitors going in there with every game on. And he's doing it's like
Oshie's never been in a sports bar.
Right.
In Toronto, specifically.
Right. He's got to do the intermission, and he's never watched all
Walk into a
hockey.
sports bar in Canada, and it's a white wall.
Right, but he's never done it. He said, I've never watched so much hockey in my entire life. The funniest line, I was just like, I was rolling. And he said, I would do this for free. They don't even have to pay me. And Messier said, watch out there. Be careful.
So Steve Levy and I called a hockey game together. We called a skipjacks game together in 1992.
Oh, it was funny.
At the beginning of my career. I sat on Mark Messier's lap one time in a Chrysler sedan driving from the Igloo back to the Pittsburgh Weston because it was cold as hell. It was January. It was the All-Star game. And I was standing alone with my bag. And he said, get in here, sit on my lap. That's who Mark Messier is.
Right.
I mean, the hockey guys, the good old hockey game is the best game you can name.
You better believe it.
I got a hockey story for you too. I really do.
In the meantime, Brady, I agree. I think Brady is two guys that I, of course, watching them play. Just one I didn't like at all. The other I hated. Right. The one I didn't like at all, Tony Romo. Just watching him play was difficult. And Brady, gotta hate him, Mr.
Well,
New England,
Aikman, I never liked Aikman, but Aikman's great.
I don't mind him. But to me, Romo and Brady color is as good as it gets. They're just phenomenal. What they say, what they're talking about, what they, like you said, teach you football. If Romo was as good a player as he is a commentator, he should have won 10 Super Bowls. The guy sees everything, reads everything, gets everything, and couldn't get in the end zone from 5 yards. I don't know.
Meanwhile, Joe Flacco's on his next team. He's got a Bengal helmet, wearing number 16.
Let me tell you something. This was what I was saying to my wife. Saturday. It was Saturday. I said to her, "You want to hear really wild? Tomorrow, Joe could be the first guy in like forever to beat the same team twice in a season. If he'd
in the modern era, yes.
In the modern era, if he'd have beaten the Packers, that would have been one with the Browns, one with the Bengals." And she said, if he does, we should bring him back for later in the season when we go to Green Bay.
Give him one more go.
He could go 3 shots at him. He could beat him 3 times, which will never be beaten. And then Joe can just walk off to the sunset, because I don't know if that's our last or next to the last game of the year, but then he can just retire a Raven and all will be well in the world.
And he'd still beat the Steelers in the finale if given the opportunity here.
Oh, my goodness.
Leonard Raskin is here. So a couple things for you, because I've talked 1 and 5, and it's bye week, and they'll still be 1 and 5. We get together next week, and we'll both be a year older. Happy birthday, by the way.
That's right.
And I'm doing a show at Costas later in the week, and come on out, and I know you're doing your thing with them as well in a few weeks for what you do financially and your American dream. Hockey.
Yes.
I was in Vegas with my wife to take her to see the Eagles because we were in Albuquerque, and we put it together and had cheap flights and cheap rooms, right? Because nobody was in Vegas. And it was packed, but I'm kidding. And being in Vegas, we wound up staying at the Park MGM, which is right on the plaza where the hockey rink is.
Yeah.
And I had a night in Vegas, right? I mean,
sure.
With the Cup and with Barry and
back in the day, right?
8 years ago. I have a hockey memory in Vegas that I relived a little bit with my wife, and I didn't even tell her, but she sort of knows the story. My old girlfriend back in the 90s, Robin, and I went to Vegas when New York was brand new.
Yep.
And we watched an infamous hockey game in there that lasted all night. It wasn't our Islanders game in 87 that you and I attended. This was the final game 6 of Dominik Hasek and the Buffalo Sabres getting screwed by Mike Modano and the Dallas Stars. This foot was in the crease, right? So that night, I was in the casino at New York, watching that game and playing craps, and there was a piano bar, which is still there, and a steakhouse. Il Forneo, which is my favorite Italian restaurant, still there. We ate dinner there the other night. I went in there to relive this hockey experience and another hockey experience, and I was at that bar when the Dallas Stars screwed Buffalo. And Buffalo still hasn't had a parade to this day, and they have to own O.J. Simpson, which makes it even worse. And I was in that bar celebrating with a drink after walking out of the arena that didn't exist in 1998, and the concept of the Vegas Golden Stars, Golden Knights, whatever the hell they're called, Golden Knights. And I was back there again, and my wife and I walked down the strip and looked up at the window where I had Caesar salad with the Stanley Cup with Barry Trotz. And Vegas now has taken on, it used to mean different things to me. It used to mean girls and concerts and bars and downtown and friends and birthdays and New Year's Eve with Hootie and the Blow. I've done a million things. I lost hundreds of thousands of dollars in Vegas investing in a condo. I mean, I've had awful experiences and great, but somehow it's taken on this hockey thing to me.
It's a hockey town. It's a hockey town. Last time I was in Vegas, the Knights were playing a home game. I don't remember who they were playing. And I was out to dinner with a group of friends and couldn't get to the game. We were eating. It was too late. I couldn't get to the game. We finished eating. I don't know. It was probably 9:30, 10 o'clock, back to the hotel room. So I flipped on the TV to see if the game was on. I figured it's on. It's local. It's got to be on. And it was on, and I'm watching the game, and all of a sudden, I hear the loudest freaking horn I've ever heard in my life. And then 10 seconds later, Vegas scored a goal on the TV. And I realized that we're 10-second delay on the TV, but the horn was them scoring a goal. So the rest of the game I watched And every time the horn would go off, I
What,
knew
you
they were going
stand
to
at the
score.
Aria above the hockey rink?
It was right across the street.
That would happen with me for 19 years where I lived downtown with the Orioles. The
Oh,
fireworks would go off, and I'd
right.
be watching the pitch getting delivered. I'm like, oh, he's
Right.
going to hit a home
He's
run.
going to hit a home run. So they scored. They scored. I didn't realize what it was until the second goal. And then I realized, oh, that's the
Oh, you
goalie
thought
horn.
Vegas had a bomb
Something
scare.
was going on. Something was going on in Vegas. I don't know.
All right,
But,
so I'm doing everything I can do to avoid 1-5 and all of that.
1-5 is
And
just
we've
terrible.
made it to
Terrible.
hockey, okay?
Yep,
We haven't made it
love
to
it.
baseball, and I'm about to tell you that last Thursday, when this Albuquerque trip was in the midst,
Yes.
Getty and the Negro Baseball Museum in Kansas City that I visited
Yes.
many times announced this book signing in Kansas City with Getty.
You and I were talking about
Dude,
last week.
I was
seeing
on
him.
Southwest Airlines, and if it wasn't $600 to change my flight, I would have been in Kansas City at lunchtime out of Vegas to go say hello to Getty. And then
Right.
the next day, they announced a tour that even
Crazy.
my buddy Paul Manna didn't believe when I sent it to him. He's like, "You're buying an internet rumor." I'm like, "Dude,
Right.
I'm a journalist. I don't buy internet. I
Right.
am the bullshit detector of all bullshit
You
detectors."
texted me. I was getting ready to get on a plane. I couldn't believe it.
So
I was
this
like,
Rush news
that's not
is an American dream, a
Yes.
white light, a bucket list, a thing
Something
like the Albuquerque Balloon thing, like an Orioles World Series game, something I thought I would never see in my life.
And we got
Like
a
a press
wild
pass
drummer.
for me for an
We got
Oriole
a
Ravens
chick
game.
drummer.
You know?
We got a chick drummer coming who's supposed to be amazing.
Yes.
Supposed to be amazing. So I go online.
Oh, did you get tickets?
Wait, I go online because it says Citibank pre-sale. Well, I have a Citibank card. So I'm signing up for the pre-sale on Ticketmaster, which I did. And then it says you got to connect your credit card account to the Ticketmaster account. So when you go online the morning of the 10th, noon on the 10th to buy the tickets, you verify that you're a Citibank holder. So I put in my Citibank connection, and I'm hooked up, and it says you're ready. 11:45, I get a text. Text says you're ready. Here's what you do. You go in the queue. At noon, we'll tell you when it's your turn, and you can buy seats. Nestor, God is my witness. I'm watching my phone countdown, and noon comes. And noon, I get a thing on my phone. I'm in the queue. Wasn't 30 seconds. It says, your turn. I go in, I hit the button. How many tickets? I said 8. Floor seats to see Rush, 8 tickets. I'll sell some of those. No problem. I click on the next line, and it says activation code. I have no activation code. How do you buy these tickets? I have no code. The code, I read down a little further, is the first 6 digits of your Citibank card. I don't carry my Citibank card. My Citibank card is in a safe at the house. I'm in Orlando, Florida. The family is at Magic Kingdom in Orlando.
Oh.
There is no Citibank card available. So I do what the smartest people in the world do. I go
to your
online
to
my Citibank account, which shows me the last 4 digits of my card.
But not the first 6.
Right. So then I go to a statement on the Citibank website, which is all X's except for the last 4 digits of the card. So Citi has a
big
robot.
Money goes around the world.
Citi has a robot. Then I ask, how do I get my account number? And it says, we are not able to give you your account number online via the robot or via telephone.
Well, you need a double authentication for that.
So I call in to the telephone number. Can we identify you by your Social Security number or your card number? I say, Social Security number. Put it in. Then they ask for the first 4 digits of the account number. Not the last 4, the first 4. I don't know why. The first 4 identifies the bank. They know what those are. Then they say, I want to speak to a person. It's the only person I can get to is a fraud person. They want to know my card number. I don't have my card number. Well, how can we help you? I said, I need my card number. I'm sorry, sir, we can't give you your card number over the phone. I said, you're kidding me. So I can't get tickets to the show, and I'm watching on my iPad where I'm connected.
You have 15 minutes to activate the thing.
As the floor seats are
disappearing,
dwindling in availability like a bad drink night.
Oh,
disappearing.
Man.
So when am I getting home? After the Ravens game on Sunday. That's when I'm getting back to my house to get the Citibank card. So I log in to get the Citibank card. There are not 2 seats together in Madison Square Garden on 4 dates. Anywhere. None.
So you were trying to go to New York? Yeah.
Yeah. There's not 2 seats together in Madison Square Garden anywhere. So I unlock with the code, and finally there are 2 seats on a different date in New York, $2,500 a seat for the floor seats.
No,
I'm not doing that. I mean, I'm all about the American dream. I'm all about, doing things I love to do. $2,500.
Breaks my heart that Rush is involved in scalping its fans, but that's the ticket.
For $2,500, that's the floor seat, center section.
This is why your guy Kid Rock's challenging Pearl Jam to go after Ticketmaster.
I hear you. 20 rows, 15 rows back.
Of course, you got to hope the judges aren't paid off or corrupt, like
$2,500. So here's what we do: we go to SeatGeek, we go to StubHub, we look for tickets. 3 rows behind that, $800 a ticket. Somebody reselling because they were selling for $250. So somebody's selling them for $800, 3 rows behind the ones that the floor is $2,500.
If I go online today and they're $285 to sit on the roof, I won't buy them, and a lot of Rush fans won't buy them. I saw this with Springsteen, and they'll get priced or not. And I love Getty. I love the Blue Jays this week.
Yeah, prices will change.
And that would be very unfortunate that it looks like a cash grab from guys who are in the basement playing and want to go out and make money and be paid fairly and all that. But if I can't afford to go see Rush at this point after flying to Cleveland or Toronto or LA, if I quack out on the pricing the way I did on Bryan Adams' pricing in Toronto 2 weeks ago,
I don't know what's a fair price. I haven't been to a big concert with a big name.
Well, fair price is what it's worth to you, right?
Oh, of course, it's always what it's worth to me. Always.
Yeah.
So fair price, I'd probably pay $1,000 for a floor seat, but $2,500 seemed a spit too far for Madison Square Garden for me for going to Rush.
Well, so you don't have tickets then?
I got 2 tickets. $800.
You're going to the show. Okay, all right.
$800 seemed fair to me. Somebody made some money, but I'd pay $1,000. So $800 seemed okay for go to Madison Square Garden.
That would not be okay for me, just so you know. And I love Rush probably more than you love Rush, but it's just not okay with me.
So
it doesn't have that value to me.
Here's my goal, because it's not until next July.
I told my wife, it's June. Yeah, June 7th is the first night in Inglewood. Until then, relax. I'm not thinking.
I got no worry.
I'm going to go see these shows. I just want Alex to be healthy. I want Getty to be,
there'll be some tickets for less money soon. So I figure, okay, if the floor 3 rows in front of me selling for $2,500, and I got, you go to SeatGeek and it says amazing deals or awesome deals or whatever. I got $800 for 3 rows behind that. If I can get a cheaper ticket reasonably close, I'll resell those and I'll get my $800 at least. I'm not worried about that.
By the way, I saw Sir Paul McCartney on a hill in Albuquerque.
There you go.
I paid $72 for those tickets.
How great is that?
Each, and it was a great $148 experience for me and my wife.
Right. How great is that?
Including the $16 beers we bought. We even $16 for 24 ounces. That's a deal. We thought that's an $8 beer. It's not that bad.
That's right.
So
that's right.
Albuquerque pricing, as my buddy Scotty P says. So. And then we went to the Eagles at the Sphere, and I mean this with conviction. This is this is what a prick I am. Okay, you can tell John Harbaugh. I don't hate him, but I hate ticket gouging.
Right.
We flew without tickets to the Sphere. My
Yep.
wife's friend from work happened to be there with her husband. We hung out and had a drink. It was beautiful.
Cool.
But we did not have tickets. We flew in, and I said to my wife, I'm not into a $700 night with the Eagles. I'm
Yeah,
into a
yeah.
$400 night with
Well,
the Eagles.
there's
My ceiling
somebody's
was
getting rid of
500
something.
bucks.
Somebody's getting rid of tickets they can't
No,
use.
no.
There's
So
no
we
doubt.
flew in. We
Yep.
had rooms that cost a couple $100. Like we're in
Yep.
Vegas. We didn't really want to be in Vegas at all. It wasn't like a choice.
Right.
It
I
was
get
like
it.
that's where the Sphere is. We're gonna go, and we'll
Yeah.
suck it
See
up. We'll
what's
go have
up.
a nice meal. By the way, Chino Poblano in the Cosmopolitan. Chino Poblano in the Cosmopolitan. Best meal I've had this year, and I've had a lot of meals this year. Oh, freaking nominal, and so good I went twice. So, in Vegas, woke up on Friday, and I've been monitoring StubHub and SeatGeek.
Yep. Yep.
I wound up getting a pair for the Eagles at the Sphere that were, for me, the perfect seats. They were
Right.
upstairs in the exact middle, just the way I wanted. I paid less than anybody in the building for those seats.
That's it.
I
Beautiful.
paid far under $500 and a
It's
little more than
magnificent.
$400
It's
for two
magnificent.
tickets to see the Eagles because I wasn't paying 6 or 7 or 8. I just
Right.
wasn't. And my
Right.
wife knows that, and was like, "Hey, we'll go see Barry Manilow for $100 instead, or we'll go." She
Hey,
wanted to see.
go to a show.
Are you familiar? This is. You have a wife, and
Yeah.
I've met her. Okay. Are you familiar with Piff the Magic Dragon?
No, I'm not.
Google it. That's all I'm going to do. That's your homework.
Okay.
Leonard Raskin is here. He is Raskin. Just
Have
Google
not.
it. Just
I'll check it out.
that and Google tape face. Tape face. Tape face. And this is the ish I learned when I'm on vacation with my wife in Las Vegas, and she's looking. Terry Fader, who I'd actually heard of as the ventriloquist, so she's looking for like B shows in case I'm too much of a cheapskate and Don Henley's too much of a prick to let me in.
Go somewhere.
You know, because we were not rolling $838 onto our credit card for two
I
seats
hear you.
that were obstructed for the Eagles. You know,
Right.
Yeah.
Wouldn't do it. I'm with you.
all alone at the. By the way, I was standing on the corner in Winslow, Arizona. It was such a fine sight to see. My
There you
dear
go.
John Harbaugh letter is out there. You know, in the
1 and
long
5.
run, we'll find out. The dark desert highway. Ravens are 1-5. Luke's at the ballpark. All things are normal here for bye week, except it's my birthday and I'm going to eat a lot. We are
That's
WNST, AM 1570, Towson, Baltimore. We never stop talking. Baltimore positive.